How to build your personal brand online and on social media. Okay, so I think of personal branding as the art of becoming knowable, likable, and trustable to your ideal clients. People want to buy from people, and this is true, more true now than ever. As many of our speakers before have already mentioned, it's a competitive landscape. You really need to be visible so that your clients want to work with you over all the other competition out there. So my outline for my talk today, I'm going to firstly just introduce who needs a personal brand. Secondly, what is your personal brand? I'll give a couple of examples of some strong personal brands, and then really dive into how you can build your personal brand online, as well as some practical tips and actions. And I'm also just going to end with a couple of tips for taking your own brand photos if you don't have any already. Okay, so number one, who needs a personal brand? So falls into three main categories. Number one is if your clients are buying your service. So if you're the service provider, you definitely need a personal brand. Number two is if you're selling a product that you're tied to personally, maybe you sort of came up with a product from a personal story, that's also going to be really beneficial. And number three is if you're a visible personality within a bigger business. Just an interesting statistic, 82% of people say they are more likely to trust a company when their CEO is active online. So people really do want to get to know the people behind the brands they're buying from. Why is a personal brand important? So the internet is a noisy place. You need to give your ideal clients a reason to choose you. A personal brand sets you apart, and it makes you both memorable and relatable. Okay, so what is your personal brand? Breaking it down into four main components. Firstly, it's what you do, so your expertise. Secondly, it's how you do it. So what is your style and your process? Number three is any defining features. So what is it that sets you apart? And number four, it's you. So what is your personality and attributes that are unique to you? It's the things people say about you basically when you're not in the room. So just personally, so looking at my own personal brand, so I'm a personal brand photographer, I'm a family photographer, I love color and light, I do both photos and videos, I'm a mum to two girls, I'm also a book lover, a chocolate lover, and I have a random obsession with umbrellas. And I'm now just going to run through a couple of clients of mine who also have really strong personal brands and have sort of a loyal following of both audience and clients who just love to work with them. So firstly, we're going to look at Javid. She's a success coach for mums in business. She's very much about building success on your own terms. She's a money mindset expert. She believes in the power of harnessing feminine energy. She's a podcaster. She's a mother. She's a tea drinker and an afternoon bath lover. Samantha Lawton, so we all know Sam. Sam's a WIBN group leader. She's the networking queen. She's a supporter of women in business. She's an educator for becoming a better networker, as well as being a mum to two boys. Emma Griffin. So Emma's a copywriter for creatives. She writes anti-hustle copy. She's an educator. She's got a no bullshit approach, and she's a reader, writer, and artist. Bella Foxwell. Bella is an Instagram strategist and trainer. She's known for growing her Doors of London account to 70,000 followers, but now she's very much an advocate of building relationships being more important than number of followers. She's also an advocate of content planning and her SSSS method, as well as being a dog lover and a fiction writer. And finally, Emmy Faust, a growth strategist. She's a LinkedIn expert. She's a Dragon's Den winner. She's a podcaster. She believes in collaboration over competition, as well as being a mum of four. Okay, so defining your personal brand. So as we mentioned, you need to think about what it is you do, your expertise, how you do it, what sets you apart, and aspects of your personal life and your personality that you're comfortable sharing with your audience. So looking at the first one, so what you do and your expertise. You need to be really clear about the transformation that you provide your clients. How does your service or product transform their lives? Make sure this is clear on your website and reference it often in your social media, giving specific examples whenever you can. Secondly, how you do it. So your style and process. So how do you help your clients, and give your audience an insight into your process by sharing your vision and your values, some tips and tricks, provide short training videos, go behind the scenes with the clients so people can really see what the process is of how you work, as well as regularly sharing examples of your work. Third aspect is what sets you apart. So why do your clients choose you? What do they love about working with you? These are great questions to ask past clients and to really know what it is that sets you apart from those offering a similar service. And then share these client testimonials on your website and in your feed. It's really going to attract those type of clients who want to work with you. And finally, you. So aspects of your personality and your life that you're happy to share with your audience. So what do you love? How do you relax? What makes you angry? Where do you go for inspiration? Who do you love? Pick a couple and sort of come back to them often so you become known for them. And remember, you don't need to share everything. You really do get to choose what it is that you share online. Okay, so now I'm going to give 5 practical tips that you can do this week to boost your personal brand online. Starting with website. Okay, so most people have one photo on their about page on their website. Add more photos. If you're the face of your business, having multiple images of you in different contexts on your websites is really going to help your clients get to know, like, and trust you much faster. It's just going to speed along that process. Secondly, update your banners. So if your LinkedIn profile still has the blue banner behind your picture, update it with something that relates to you and your business. So, you know, it's just another touch point for you and it just builds that familiarity. Emails and newsletters. So there's so much competition for attention out there, including imagery really does help you get noticed. So include an image of yourself or at the top or the bottom of an email. It also makes it more memorable and it also makes it feel more personal for the person receiving it. And show your face on your feed. So research has shown that posts with a face receive 30 to 40% more engagement than posts without a face. People really do want to see you. So share an image of yourself with a short introduction, a personal story, or something surprising that people might not know about you. And equally, share your expertise. So share your expertise, again, accompanied by a photo of you. It gives your audience a taste of the value you provide, and it also ties it directly to you, which makes you much more memorable. Okay, so just a few concluding thoughts. It takes time and consistency to build trust and to build a personal brand. So stick with it, post consistently, post photos of yourself often, and just find a way to make it fun for you, which sort of the next point is you get to decide what you share. And share in a way that feels fun. So if it's fun for you to create videos and share them online, that's great. It's a great way to sort of build that relationship and for people to see your face. If you prefer writing content, then write content, but share it with a photo of you. So people are tying that really valuable content back to you. And remember, you don't need to appeal to everyone. It's okay if some people unfollow you or don't like you. The most important thing is that you're being yourself and you're really relating to the people who are going to be your ideal customers. And finally, people really do want to see you. I know for myself and for lots of my clients, there's a lot of hesitation about posting images of yourself. You're sort of worried, what will people think? What will my friends think? But do it anyway. It gets easier with time, I promise. And the number of people, both from my own experience and my clients, who have told me that once they started posting photos of themselves more regularly, they started getting more leads, they started building stronger relationships, getting more clients. It really does work. So just push through that discomfort, and it does get easier with time. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share a couple of tips for anyone who doesn't have brand photos. If they just do want to take some photos of themselves, here's some tips for getting some photos to share. So number one is choose great locations. So do you have a studio or home office where you work most of the time? Maybe it's even from your kitchen counter that you do your work. Great, share images from that. It gives people an insight into your life, and sort of starts to build that trust and personal relationship. The same if you've got a favorite cafe you work from or a workspace. If you need something a bit more professional, there are also lots of other great options out there. You just really need to think about who your clients are, and what's going to really help them relate to you. Number two, so just quickly about light. So whenever you can, try to position yourself in front of a window. So you're facing the window. It's just the most universally flattering light for photos. Side light, so this is when the light's coming from the side of you. It gives dimension to the face, so you've got some shadow, some light, which can be really beautiful, though it can also highlight blemishes. So you can do what the lady's doing here. One of my clients is just turn your face towards the light to again get some of that more flattering front light. And wherever possible, avoid overhead lights. So that would be sort of lights from the ceiling, gives you dark circles under your eyes. So try to avoid that where you can. Number three, choose outfits that reflect your style. So if your brand is very casual, while you're still delivering an excellent service, great, reflect that in what you're wearing. If you're more professional with a feminine twist, reflect that in what you're wearing. The most important thing is that you're wearing something that you feel great in and that is going to make your clients feel the way you want them to feel when they're interacting with your brand. I usually recommend 2 to 3 outfits is absolutely perfect. That's enough. Number 4, use props and color. So this is a great way to just infuse more personality into your photos. So if you wear sunglasses or scarves or hats, these are all great things to incorporate into your photos. Or are there products that you've designed or work that you can show off? Also a great thing to include. And just a quick tip is anything that you're going to be holding in your hand can also be really helpful. It just makes you relax. So if you've got a favorite coffee mug or a favorite notebook, that can also be great to include just because it makes you look more relaxed. And number 5, involve other people. So if your family or your pet are an important part of your story and think something you're happy to share with your audience, or you have a team that you want to introduce and show off, it can be great to incorporate these in your photo. It really gives people more context into your life and into your brand. Okay, so I think that's it for my presentation today. So I'd love you to come over and follow me on Instagram or my website. I sort of have a lot more tips and tricks over there as well. And also super happy to answer any questions